Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. This is Naaman with the DC Camp Branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rekah HaKodash. All right, of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to send out salutations to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, also, who post numerous videos. All right, they're uploaded to the various social media sites. All right, aside from YouTube, uh, that are out there in order for you to take advantage of so you can learn. All right. And this is also done because these go out throughout the four corners of the earth in order to wake up the remaining hopeful elect. That's why we're doing this. All right. So let me get started here with the copyright disclaimer. It says under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Of course, is what I'm doing. I'm not profiting from this, nor do I ever intend to. This is just used as a teaching tool. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, here we go. This first video, of course, everybody probably has seen uh, the latest update. We'll get to that with 3i Atlas. But this happened within the last year. Uh, he took photographs, and initially he didn't think anything of it, so he went back to uh, dissect it further. And what he found out, kind of as he said, I'll let you hear what he how he put it.
Ringed planet, and he noticed something very strange when he did that truly made him kind of go cold. And so, in the footage, as you are seeing, Saturn is centered in the frame, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here at certain points to
Uh-oh.
give you a better look. But Saturn's in the center of the frame. There's definitely some atmospheric wobbling and with the distance and all, but it's a pretty clear and steady image of Saturn. And then, out of nowhere, we see this UFO, this, what looks to me like a small, bright object in comparison to Saturn, that is, that slides suddenly into view from the darkness on the right side of the planet. And it just moves steady and fast and smooth as it flies.
Now, just so you understand, to me that looks like a sphere. He didn't say that, but that's what I'm getting. But regardless, let's check out the size comparison of Saturn and what it appears that appears to be an Earth-sized object. All right, let's zoom in here. There you go. See, here's Earth, and there's Saturn. Saturn is huge. All right, like damn. So there's things still out there aside from 3i Atlas. Of course, this is well before 3i Atlas was discovered. By about, let's see, when did they discover that? Late June, or was it early July? So this, you're looking at around 7 months prior to that, maybe. All right, so let's go back to the video. But Saturn is about 9 times wider than Earth, with an equatorial diameter of approximately 120.5 kilometers, 120,500 kilometers compared to Earth's 12,000. So, yeah, huge. All right, huge. Here's another one. All right, these are the moons. All right, compared to Earth. All right, yeah, these devils are worried. All right, they are worried. Some other size comparison charts. All right. So there you go. Let's go back.
drifts over the rings and looks to actually pass behind Saturn's upper curve, where it then reappears briefly before fading into the darkness, all in about 2 seconds. So here is that clip with the slowed down versions of it already edited into the clip by the original uploader.
Look at that. And it fades off. Just gave you a peek. Wow. See, this is part of those signs that it tells you. All right, let's go to, like I said, in Luke 21st chapter and Matthew 24. We'll get back to that, but let's go to Jeremiah 10. All right. And this is under idols, but the thing is, this is verse 2. It says, "Thus saith the Most High," that's Lord in all caps, so that's Yahweh. "Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." They tend to view things like this and make them idols. All right, but we're going from the perspective of, as we get here in Matthew, all right, these are signs that, hey, it's over. All right, it's over for these bastards. In fact, before I do that, since I mentioned that they use these as idols, let's go to Isaiah 47, because the voodoo that they used to do so well isn't working for them anymore. Why? Because that's been taken away from them. And this has to do with the humiliation of Babylon. You're seeing this now, right? These devils are being exposed in so many ways. They're being revealed as being idiots for the most part, even though that's not how the world viewed them. All right, and this goes into Obadiah too about wisdom of Teman being no more. I'm paraphrasing. All right, this is on a global scale, of course, but in particular here in America. All right, oh, are they being exposed? But all this and what's going on over there in Western Asia, so-called Middle East, all right, all has to do with how this man is being exposed, all right, and brought down. All the confusion that he was used to bringing about on the other nations is now happening to him. And there's so many scriptures on that. We'll get them. But anyway, Isaiah 47:1 says, "Come down and sit in the dust." What is that dust? That's confusion, just as I said. They've been so used to having their way in the world and causing these other nations to fall and stumble so they can take advantage of it. All right, and now that's coming. How did someone put it? The chickens are coming home to roost. Yeah. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." All right. And that's what they had been for so long. You know, even though they pretended and they, were very, very adept at creating these false flags and anything that they could use as an excuse to do their dirty work in foreign lands. And like I said earlier, to get their way. All right, verse 2, "Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover their locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." All right. And you don't think these devils know what's in store for them? They might not want to accept it. That's on them. All right. You can tell by how they act. All right. They can say anything. 4. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, his name is the Holy One of Israel. And we're talking about the Most High here. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. America was set up to be that. It tells you that in Jeremiah. All right, that golden cup. All right. It was set up in order to reel in the other nations with its wine, its doctrine, its philosophy, aka democracy, that everybody drank from that cup. And now they're seeing it for what it really is. 6. Well, we'll come back to that. Let's continue with video. Look at that. That is huge. Just skip right on by. Just strolling along. See, gave you a little peek, gave you a little glimpse. Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, look how quick, how fast this thing blasts in from the darkness, goes over Saturn's rings, passes behind Saturn, looks to pass behind it to me, vanishes before it even reaches the edge of the other side of Saturn's rings. And, you know, I ran this footage through multiple passes of an AI video enhancement software that I use called Topaz Video AI to try to clean it up. It's clear to me that this thing goes behind the planet, not in front of it. And if you watch it, as I loop this, you can even see what appears to be an obvious faint shadow stretching across the rings that are wrapping around the backside of Saturn as this object moves by exactly where you would expect a shadow to be given the sun's angle. So, you know, as this thing is moving across the rings, notice this dark area which appears to be shining against Saturn's, you know, most outer rings as they start to fade out into the darkness. I mean, for yourself, this looks like a clear shadow. I mean, you can see it. So, yeah, I think now after reviewing this so many times, I don't think that this object is dust or camera noise. I don't think it's a pixel glitch. I've seen a ton of telescopic footage, and the depth and the motion and the shadows, it all lines up. And what I'm kind of still trying to figure out is how the object, it only becomes visible when it's over Saturn or its rings. You know, you don't see it streaking across the darkness of space. We only see it as it appears, you know, above the rings, and it seems to me like it's just being lit up by the planet's reflection of light. And then the second that it clears that area, it's gone again. You know, it has no other light reflecting off of it, or at least not enough sunlight that it would be picked up by the video attached to the telescope. And furthermore, when the object comes out on the left side of Saturn from the viewer perspective, the more I loop it over, the more that the object to me, because of the way it fades away, almost seems to turn to where it would be suddenly blasting away and behind Saturn, that is blasting away from the camera. So, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen and captured strange objects and craft-like things out near Saturn and Jupiter and other planets or moons. Tell me your thoughts on this down below. Really cool footage, and big thanks to the viewer who sent this in. Lastly today, certainly not to be the least, because this is some pretty amazing footage here, we have a clip posted to Reddit that appears to show a very clear video of a fresh metallic orb sighting that occurred over Brisbane, Australia. The clip shows a metallic-looking sphere cruising low over North Ipswich, and I'm probably destroying that, which is part of Greater Brisbane, Australia. They claim that it flew lower than balloons ever do, made no sound, and looked distinctly reflective, as you guys are about to see. So check this out.
Yep. Wow, Indiana, good eyes.
No, I found it. He looked up and he saw something. Oh, it is. For God's sake. Rick. What is that? Maybe it's a flying saucer.
Where is it? Hang on. I can't see.
That white thing. That's it.
It's hovering there, isn't it?
Flying saucer in it looks like
There it is.
it's heading this way. It's like it's heading this way. It's heading this way.
So I think it's a balloon, but it's that silver orb again, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be it might be a flying saucer. Where's the flying saucer came up?
Indy, do you want to go get my other phone and call Uncle Jason? See if you can see his veranda.
She's in the store. Hey!
You know, it talks about things like this, and it's no coincidence that in all the places where the colonizers are, you know, it talks about that in Zechariah, about the house and the house of the thief. Let's get that. All right, let's go to Zechariah 5. And it says a vision of a flying scroll, right? All right, let's go straight to the point. In fact, start at 3. It says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth should be cut off, as on this side, according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side, according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Most High, Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. All right. So this is one of those signs. Let's go real quick to Matthew 24. And let's see. It talks about coming of the Son of Man. It says no one knows the day or the hour, and that's true. Not even the Lord, Yahweh Shai. But there are signs, all right? And just as in the days of Noah, what will people be doing? The same thing that they're doing now. You know, everything's for shits and giggles, all right? They're worried about everything else except the coming of Yahweh Shai, all right? They will be eating and drinking and marrying and of the like, all right, just like they did in times of old. All right, let's see. I went a little too far. Hold on. All right. Coming of the Son of Man. All right. It says immediately after this, Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming, all right, in the clouds of heaven, and those are those chariots, all right, with power and great glory. People call them UFOs, all right. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect, or the remnant, it says, from the four winds, from one end of the earth to the other, where the Israelites, our people, have been scattered. All right. And it goes on. Let's go to Luke 21. All right. Scroll on down. And it tells you, says what? All right. Let's go a little bit up further. All right. What does it say here? All right. Coming of the Son of Man. What will be going on? It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, just as what's happening now, with perplexity, the sea and the waves. Perplexity, all right, a state of quandary, all right, men's hearts failing them for fear. What do you think else? What else would cause great fear? Aside from what's happening down here, what else? Those chariots, right? And for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. All right, and you're going to see these people that are in, they think are you know, everything's good, and they want it to continue that way. You know, all these governments, the elites, all that, they're good. You think they want this to go away? Hell no. 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud or chariot with power and great glory, knowing they can't do nothing, but that's not going to keep them from trying. That's 2 Ezra 13th chapter. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. We want this to come. All right? Because this so-called white man thinks he's the cock of the walk. You know, he thinks he's it. All right? He's saying, this is me. I've done this, as it says in Isaiah 10 and 13. In fact, let's get that, his proud ass. All right? This is Isaiah 10 and, let's see, 13. For he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent. All right? All right? I'm cunning. I'm diligent. All right? I'm eloquent. All right? It tells you the Most High don't care about none of that. That tells you that in 1 Corinthians 1st chapter, start around 18th verse. All right? And I have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures. And I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man. Continues on to this day. And he's getting started as far as that's concerned. All right? And my hand hath found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one gathers eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing, or opened the mouth, or peeped. Yeah, because he thinks he's in complete control. And we keep trying to tell the people this, what we're coming into is when he's most dangerous. All right, I've used the example several times when we know the atrocities that he committed in getting what he's got so far, and that is the world. Make no mistake about it. Job 9:24 is there for a reason. My point in bringing this up, I asked the other question, what do you think he's going to do to try to keep it? And therein lies Isaiah 13th chapter and Daniel 12 and 1. That's what we're coming into. 2 Ezra 15 and 14, well, 15 on down. 2 Ezra 16, 70 on down. All right.
What's your ID thing?
I don't think I have his number on my other phone.
It's just hovering around this area.
Now, the op on Reddit added that this is actually the second time they've seen this object in that same area. The first time they thought that it might be a balloon, and only after seeing this one did they decide that no, this is something else entirely. Some speculate that it's an atmospheric lensing or a sun glare making a flake look round. You know, that was one of the theories on the Reddit post. Others leaned more seriously into, that thing's metal and it's not floating like a balloon. And not everything is AI, not everything is fake, and until I see otherwise, I think this is a really cool and amazing piece of footage, and we've been seeing a lot of orb UFOs lately in the last couple of years. So please tell me what you guys think. I really hope you enjoyed these clips today, and I want to thank all of you guys for continuing to support me and Secure Team, to my friends on Patreon and YouTube memberships and people that sport merch and send me in pictures. I really appreciate.
All right, let's go to what everybody probably just...
All right, guys, just when you think it couldn't get any crazier with this 3-eye atlas, we've got some new images that are just plain wild. Now, I want you to see where Atlas is sitting, behind the sun, but above the sun. So if you have a solar telescope, as you can see there, you'll be able to see it clearly. And that is exactly what we have over here with Dobsonian Power. He used his solar telescope. The only way to get a really good shot right now at the exact coordinates of where NASA said this object is. And this is what he captured. It is rather wild. This is the raw, unprocessed image right here. And a shout out to Julio and Vanessa that cleaned it up, took the noise out of it, adjusted some lighting, as you can see in the middle one, and then just simply zoomed in on different areas. And you can see the different areas that are zoomed in on some of the wild stuff that is there. Now, some of these places, like the image on the right, look like a painting, like a picture, like a drawing of some sort. It looks wild that this is what you're getting from this so-called Comet Atlas at this point. Again, this is from a solar telescope, and Dobsonian says he plans to try to go live on this thing later with the regular telescope. But the circular nature of this thing is wild. What is this on the right that we're looking at? It looks crazy. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like this guy, an Assyrian Lamassu, or very close to a centaur with wings. It's what it looks like. To me, if you're going to call details out, it clearly looks like the body, the hind legs, and the legs of something. It's got 2 arms off the top. It's got the wing coming off the back, and it's got a perfect head with eyes, nose, mouth features, and ear feature. It looks like almost like an afro. Is what it looks like to me. He's looking back. It's like, whatever it is, it's crazy looking. It's wild looking that it's there.
Afro.
These images, man, let's zoom in real quick to that on the right. You can see here even better. Some could say it even has horns coming off of its head, if you want to say that. And there's other features people always capture, and people are always going to think and say that it looks like whatever they think it looks.
I skipped over something, and I want to, because he said earlier, let me find it. Here it is. When all of this was about to be revealed, this is what they did. NASA.
On the ground, orbiters above planet Mars, they all pointed their cameras toward this thing, and right as we were supposed to get images, NASA went completely silent. And in fact, pretty much shut down, as some of you have heard. No updates, no press briefings, no nothing. We do have some new data which puts it at over 33 billion tons, which is much bigger than Manhattan. And get this, it's denser than any comet that we've ever studied. Then came what scientists are calling the, quote, fire hose effect. NASA's Swift Observatory picked up an insane amount of water blasting out of this space object, like it was venting energy. They literally described it as, quote, a fire hose running at full blast. So whatever's inside this thing isn't just melting from sunlight, it's acting like it's being powered from within. And it's not behaving like a normal comet. You know, it didn't from the jump, and it's still not. So, then the ESA, or the European Space Agency's Trace Gas Orbiter, managed to catch a glimpse of the object near planet Mars, just a glowing orb with a faint tail, and then almost immediately after, those images disappeared. And right on cue, NASA froze all public updates, citing the recent government shutdown, budget cuts and things of that nature, which many believe is a total cover-up by NASA. As of right now, there's not too many updates. People have been posting their own images to Twitter. Their analysis of the images we do have. Backyard astronomers have been trying to capture this thing. Some have captured images of what look like a cigar-shaped object. Others have said that is, just an effect of the camera and the object moving as the exposures are being taken. Thus, instead of giving a picture of a single, glowing orb, it gets stretched out to look like a cigar. But others aren't convinced. And while we don't have many updates this week, besides the fact that it's spewing water like a fire hose, the fact that it recently changed color to this beautiful green hue. This object, it has a very unique chemistry. It's unusually rich in carbon dioxide and nickel, a chemical signature not commonly found in interstellar visitors. Then we have the unusual brightening of the object in mid-September, where data from the Comet Observation Database indicated that 3I Atlas was brightening faster than expected. A lot of weird stuff going on with this, and I promise you guys, if I see anything worth your time, I will definitely post updates here. So even when the mainstream news is saying that something about this feels different, it definitely makes you get that feeling in your stomach, like something's off. So
there you go. They they cut the feed more or less. Now you know.
Looks like. But realistically, I don't know what to say besides it is wild looking. Even this little thing's been pointed out down here on the bottom, right below it. But the features, just crazy, just wild looking. This is what you get when you zoom in on 3I Atlas. Again, no massive tail, nothing like that. This is no comet like we've ever seen before. But these images, man, I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. As I get new ones, I'm going to continue to share them. And if I can lock onto this thing myself, obviously I'll be sharing the images that I get.
It's real hard for your, anyone here on Earth, no matter the equipment that they have outside of government and, certain institutions that have those, from the big, huge radio satellites with, have a huge disc that you usually find on mountains or out in the desert somewhere. The best images, and that's why NASA did what they did, are going to be your space-bound, because it's less pollution that you have, or less atmospheric pollution, being those that are based, inside Earth's atmosphere. There's a lot you got to compensate for, but out in space, with those, they knew what they were doing.
But when this thing goes out past Venus, keep in mind that it's going to align on Halloween. Just look here real quick. A perfect alignment. If you want to find where Atlas is, it will be right with Venus. This could cause a conjunction in the sky. I don't know how bright it's going to be. But if it was a regular comet, you would see a tail coming off of Venus is what it would look like. But since it's not a regular comet and it's missing a tail, you're not going to see that. But the first, it should pop out from behind it. It should be just to the right of it. So on the first, there should be a clear shot right there of it in the sky. Hopefully some of you guys get some images. If you do, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. I'll share them. We'll look at them. We'll dive into them and we'll see what they look like and if they got anything going on like what we've been seeing with these wild images coming from Atlas. I'll leave links. Join me for the live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And follow me on X for more. It's been Dabu7. Eyes to the skies, y'all.
So there you go. These devils are concerned. We just go ahead and give it the respect it deserves. They are afraid.
There's a crazy
They are afraid. Yeah. They don't want this to end. This is, these as you see down here, this is Dabu. Trump has declared that this president of Colombia is a drug lord, and they're saying now, he's saying take out Trump. Hey, things about to get more wild. All right, and this is why we're encouraging our people. Hey, repent. All right, you got to do that first. All right, take advantage of this grace period that we're in, but that period, the window is closing on it. All right, because the bottom is getting ready to drop out of this. Like I say, these devils are in panic mode. All right, save yourselves. Hey, so with that, once again, I hope whoever views this video has been edified. That's what we do here at Great Millstone. I'll filter everything through the scriptures as it should be. And I like to also encourage you to remain circumspect out here. All right? Because it's only going to get worse. You see, these people are wilding out. All right? So with that, until the next video, shalom.